Hello everyone, it's Sloth here, and today we are going with Azorius Historic Control. It's very strong deck, and it was winning around like 3/4 of the games I've played in Mythic. It's actually very strong deck, and if you play it well, especially with things like March of the Otherworldly Light, when you need to decide which cards are good for the matchup, guess sometimes what will be needed, and so on. It's a very skillful matchup, and you can improve a lot, probably those odds even. And yeah, the deck is extremely strong. He has a lot of synergies and so on. And Teferi will win you the game. Like Teferi is known to be a busted card, and we really abuse it in this deck. Also for like having Dovin Veto, which can protect Teferi on turn 5. So when you play Teferi, you untap at the end step, and enemy plays something to win the game, killing Teferi. You just counter it, and that's a good game. So deck is extremely strong, and it has a lot of options. Thanks to Shark Typhoon, you can really start the game for a long time, and you can ensure that you have card advantage over the time. You can protect Planewalkers, you can play Shark Typhoon for 3 mana at the end step, then play Narset, and if enemy has just one creature without haste, he cannot kill Narset unless he spends his full turn to kill her somehow. So basically, this deck does a lot. Wandering Emperor, amazing addition to this kind of deck. Killing, like exiling a creature and also healing you is pretty much a fog effect very often. And the fact that you get leftover Planewalker that can create tokens, buff, and so on is amazing. And the only thing that maybe could be changed is Divine Purge. Maybe you can play Day of Judgment. Like, of course, you can just go Wrath of Gods, it's the same. But I didn't exactly like Divine Purge. I'm not the biggest fan of the card, but I've tried it and it did its job, so it's fine, I guess. But if you want to switch something, it might be it. We also have one Farewell, and it's really good to answer everything that we cannot answer, especially like Graveyard or Enchantments. We don't have great ways to mass remove them otherwise. And we have Commit Memory, because we run 2 Narsets, so first of all it's a great counter and great bounce spell in case anything came into the battlefield that you didn't want it to come into battlefield, and you can bounce it at the end step and counter when they replay it in 2 turns. But Memory is a win condition if you have Narset in the field, so standard and very good synergy. Yeah, and other than this, the only interesting thing is having 4 March of the Otherworldly Light, and I must say this card is very good, very flexible, and the fact that if you are really forced, and you will see it one of the games, that I really overpaid for this card, and you can see the effect. You can judge yourself how much flexibility this card has in its own, and the fact that you can target artifact, creature, enchantment is just all around good. The only issue, of course, is not being able to kill Planewalkers, but you know, it cannot be perfect, and it's a really good card. And the fact that you can pay just X and exile anything in the end, and if you if you are on the draw and enemy has bigger creature, you just add additional card and that's it. I really like the addition of the March, and I think it's really beneficial for the deck. Other than this, we have like standard, so Hall of the Storm Giants, Castles, Otawara, and so on. 1 Field of Ruin for those Ascantas, or creature lands that are beating you to death. Archmage Charm, pretty easy to use in the deck. Even with the mana, you shouldn't have a lot of trouble casting it. And that's pretty much it. Games should be fun. I really think you will enjoy them. This is the standard like control archetype, and you know, you exactly know what you sign up for. And if you are like me and you love those games, you should enjoy them quite a lot. And as always, if you like this kind of decks and you want to support the channel, I really appreciate everyone that subscribed. It's making my day, and thank you very much for it. And that's it. Enjoy the games, and thank you for watching. Okay, so we lack a second white, but at the same time we have pretty much a bit of everything, so it should be fine. It's fine. And honestly, I will start with the untapped land. We don't get this card, but for some reason I have feeling that it won't be a matchup for Lantern, so I want to draw card as soon as possible. Okay. Interesting. Maybe we stick to the Lantern. It also gives us stop, so we don't need to fake Jwari or anything. Quite convenient. Okay, so this is enchantment deck. Our favorite. So do they play graveyard? Not really. Yeah, we can sacrifice it. At this point. They pretty much just draw a lot. Draw a lot of stuff. And next play will be Shark Typhoon. Just because we want to draw a land. And then probably commit or something like this. Having a counter spell would really help here. But unfortunately we didn't draw any. Okay. Shrines, but in the form of creatures. Okay, deal 6 damage. Shrine. Okay, it's not a shrine. Cool. Of course we could wait with the Shark Typhoon and try to fish for ambush with 2 attack, but it just doesn't seem very good. It cannot target creatures. That's weird. Not the greatest. Like, this kind of deck with shrines doesn't seem to be super powerful, to be honest. But we will see. We might still lose to it. It depends a lot what we draw and if we get stuck at 3 lands. So we need to dig. Dig, dig, dig. Dig, dig, dig. Jace agrees. And as you can see, not very easy. Otawara, as always, saving the situation. It's not white. But we are fine with not white. I won't be blocking, so I might as well attack. Probably this is just a defender for Teferi in the future. I could get rid of this, but then we cannot counterspell. And with commit, I think I have some flexibility. Like, whatever he plays with the mana boost, we should just commit it. And in the end, he didn't gain anything really. And then we can go with Divine Purge maybe, or Teferi. Actually, that's a good point. If we can play Divine Purge, it means we drew a white land, so we can also play Teferi. And Teferi with March is pretty good. I really like this combination. Like, Teferi and March means that you can exile pretty much everything you want. Okay, so that's a prime target for us. So let's do what we do. Just annoy our enemy until he leaves the game. But to be frank, we really need the next land. If we cannot play Teferi, we don't really do anything next turn. All of our spells pretty much is double white or 5 mana. Okay, so what is it? Enemy has blue. Oh man, and we whiffed. We actually whiffed. Well, I guess preventing the draw is also something. 3 lands on the top. Magic. I got magicked a bit. Okay, so do we remove it? Or this? This is to Planewalker, which is also a bit scary. That's an interesting choice. Probably we should remove this, to be frank. But I will be super greedy. Now we don't attack with the shark. We want to make sure that the enemy needs to do quite a lot of things. Also, to play the March, we will need to exile stuff, which is not exactly what we want. Like, second Teferi might come handy. Okay, that's definitely the target. And we probably want to remove it. Okay, very good, enemy went to combat. He thinks that then the end step he will pay 1 to get rid of this, but he will do only 1 damage to Narset and we can still burn her. Okay, if he attacks me, I'm not blocking. Okay, if he attacks Narset, I'm blocking. So, 2 blockers. Shark takes 1 for the team. And honestly, we can do the stuff right now. So, what exactly are we exiling? Wow, do we do 3 cards? Maybe we do it 9 phase then. Like, man, losing 3 cards, so it's what? Divine Purge, Teferi, and I guess the Emperor? We aren't left with much, but we have Memory, so maybe that's fine. And we still have Teferi. Oh man, I'm not loving this play. I'm not sure if that's correct, but I want to draw with Narset. And we are even with the enemy, and our cards are pretty powerful. Okay, that's not bad. Let's see what we draw. Like, as you can see, even now we have the advantage. Farewell is pretty good here. So is Memory Deluge. I think we go for Farewell. So the enemy can probably deal 2 damage at least. And 2 with this. So, Teferi should probably survive. If we can draw some kind of removal. Not the best one. It's good for next turn, but not for this turn. So we will see. Enemy can play the Shrine, then get mana from Weaver and play something else. If that will be the second enchantment with 1 additional mana left, then Teferi is dead. If Teferi leaves, we should win the game. Like, this kind of deck has some troubles dealing like direct damage. If that's all, we are quite okay. We can also use the Farewell and remove everything what the enemy has. Okay, I think that should be it. So, we can also go for this, but I just think Farewell is overall better. Enemy couldn't remove the Teferi last turn, so... like, really, enchantments. And graveyards? No, we don't really care about the graveyards. We are doing it the smart way. We aren't going for creatures. And I will make a stop. Yeah, like... I understand enemy, like... Teferi. What can you say about Teferi? He's the best game closer in the world. Except maybe Hullbreaker Horror. So, let's keep drawing. Drawing is pretty fine. And I guess I will play this. I like lands. So, what exactly? Do we kill everything? We could. But in the end it's just mana. So I'm eager to see what exactly he will do with the mana. And we won. So as you can see, the shrines, especially the new ones, don't seem very strong. The fact that you need to pay additional mana every turn and that it's a creature with very low stats, that wasn't great, and that was a Doomscare. Okay, so the fact we are going second against something that really looks like white aggro. Don't ask me why, it seems like white aggro. It's okay. See? Easy. So let's start with the farmlands. We definitely need 4 mana, and we prefer triple blue. Like, see, it's just that easy. You just look at the avatar and sleeves and you know. So we can draw, or we can go for March. I think we go like this. What is the next play? Adeline? And we don't have anything to exile, so not really a choice. If I had white card, It's possible I would leave the match and kill Adeline. Oh, our queen. It has been so long since I've seen this card. And it was so popular some time ago. Okay, so let's draw. I don't think they use Graveyard. There are some variations, but they don't have 1-drops, so they don't use this 3 mana enchantment that brings back a 1-drop every turn. Okay, so definitely Deserted Beach. And what are we doing really? I think we go for the Archmage Charm. Narset isn't great here. Like sure she absorbs 3 damage, but other than this, I prefer a counter spell. This might be annoying. Yeah, let's counter it. It's not extreme trouble, but we won't be doing anything else this turn. We will clear the board next turn, and we will have Teferi later. Oh, that's even better. Is it though? No, I think it's still better to play Judgment. Because now the enemy needs to start the board, and usually they start with the best creatures. Yeah, like Adeline alone isn't the most scary thing. I will risk playing Teferi on -3 because the board is clear, we destroy their draw, and white doesn't really have any chance to like attack with haste, let's say. And at this point I think we have win secured, honestly. I will read it, I remember the card, but let's check exactly what it does. I think we just march it. I don't think Dovin's Veto will be very important in this matchup. So we definitely want to get rid of this, so it's 3/3 double strike. Unfortunately very expensive, so we need to pay a lot of mana to kill it. And it doesn't do anything unless you get to 0. Yeah, I think it's best. So it's 5 mana, so X must be 5. Yeah, like Dovin Veto shouldn't be important here, but we can have it up for free, so why waste a card? So if enemy cannot answer Teferi and we can start draw for like 2 turns, it's pretty much game over.
Keep up the pace.
So I expect next turn. Oh, Otawara is pretty good. We are at 10, I don't mind it. And I think we can go with the Narset. They will make a token, but token doesn't really change anything. It only creates token with Adeline. And we can always... wow, that's pretty good. I think Emperor... there's no board, so Farewell is just worse. And Emperor will be very good to make sure he doesn't attack too much. Look at you. I guess Dovin Veto was okay. Actually, that's something I should expect, probably. But yeah, usually in this kind of deck you play either 1 or 2. They didn't have Talia maybe, so maybe 2, but it's pretty rare. Okay, so we are going second, and our hand kind of sucks right now. If enemy is creature-based deck, it might work, but we don't really have much. I will risk it, but if the enemy is some kind of control deck, we pretty much lose. But usually they are creature decks, so that's why I keep this. Okay, Jwari will probably be pretty good. We can play Island next turn. We don't get punished. And Archmage Charm is pretty much the best in this situation. So if anything, we want more blue mana. And then we can get everything untapped for free. The first Iroan games. 1/1 creature. 3+1/+1 counters on target creature. So no, that's definitely not what we want to give the enemy. And then you draw 2 cards, get token, whatever. We could trade with this. I think it's worth it. I don't love this being tapped, but we might even cycle it. We have quite a lot of lands. Well, maybe not the most, because we need 5 for Teferi. Like, man, if that's what you do with your turn, I'm super happy. I was playing with this card quite a lot. It's fun, but it doesn't really give you much advantage and it's really slow. So right now enemy has no board, no nothing, and finally hit. I really hoped for this card. So at this point we see the Teferi next turn. And we also have Otawara, but we probably will play it as a land. Cosmos Elixir. We can just use Teferi on this. So enemy is at 20. It means that he only scries. Yeah, it's fine. That's like the best value that we will get. And I will keep the Archmage Charm. We can draw in different ways. And our next turn is full anyway. I will keep it. You always want to keep it for future. He's tapped out. And this destroys his next draw. In few turns we can prepare better. And those colors shouldn't really have great ways to kill something on board. Okay, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Creatures have trample. Whenever a creature 4 power enters battlefield, draw a card. Okay, the last part is scary. So we probably march. Let's draw a card first. Why do we even think about anything? Let's play land. Man, this is so cool. And I think we just go for... It's 3, yes? So we can play this and still have counterspell. And at this point, like, those cards can be exiled very easily, but no reason to waste cards if we don't really have to. As long as we have counterspell, enemy is tapped out, so no reason not to do it. I think this will close the game. You can see how this deck really closes the game so easy. Like, turn 5 you play Teferi, and moment you keep him for 2 turns, you win the game. Alright, we are going second. This hand isn't great. We might even mulligan it actually. We don't have white. Like, we can get it, but it's super slow. We cannot play Archmage Charm. We don't have interaction. We only have Shark Typhoon. I think we should mulligan. It's just way too slow. This one is way better. So, we probably should keep only one of those. We are on the draw, so maybe Divine Purge will be a bit better. But honestly, with Shark Typhoon, I think we have 3 mana play done. And if we can block with the Shark, usually you can buy enough time to sweep. We will see, we will see. This is probably going on blue to cast Archmage Charm, but then we need to draw white. See? Good player. So, yeah, we should start with an island, because then this comes in untapped. If we start with this, this is tapped land. So, not really a reason to play it this way. Jace is showing some magic skills. It's one of the pets I think that has the most, like, you know, character. The other ones are so bland. He's a huge pain in the ass, but he's fun at least. Okay, so next turn goes some game-winning play. So let's not show enemy that we have anything. I want him to play into Jwari, and it's not scoop situation, but pretty close. He has the mana. For some reason they always have it on turn 3. I don't know how. I never played the game when the guy didn't have it. Maybe it's the first one. So he wants us to tap out. Okay, okay. Maybe that's the first game that they don't have it. So for next turn we need Archmage Charm. A Jwari won't do. Wow. I'm so happy I had Jwari. If not this, he would win next turn. Like, this deck is so deadly. On one hand it's weak, because it's you need to hit one of the 4 cards, so your deck doesn't do really anything. But if you hit it, like, man, you just win before enemy can cast normal counter spell. Because when they get back Parnhelion, it's what, 5 damage and 8 from Angels? 13 damage? Like, ridiculous. Oh man, like, he just has it all. So, what's going on? He will use it on Archmage Charm. Countering doesn't accomplish much, especially that we cycle. So I want to draw some more cards, so hopefully we draw into something that counters his card of choice. Not sure if he doesn't have it or he really plays safely with it. As I said, they usually have it, but well, not sure. I really don't like amount of discard that they have, but obviously that's the point. Wishcroak Talisman, one of my favorite cards. Yep, not a hard choice, that was pretty obvious. Not worth blocking, of course, it's better to keep Shark for some Parnhelion nonsense. And we can start drawing. And next turn we can block this as well. See? Just easy. You just draw what you need. If enemy attacks, we don't Shark Typhoon, because then he can play something uncountered. So tricky spot. I hope that he doesn't play anything threatening this turn, and it means we have free turn for Emperor, and we can start making samurais, buffing them, and start taking control over the game. Because in the end you need to kill him before he does the combo, and it's not super easy. Of course he has one. See, they always have it. I think he was just very careful with it, which is pretty correct play, especially against those colors. They always have counter spells pretty much. So, one down. They usually have some resurrection spells. Problem is we cannot answer the next one. And we also don't have the Emperor. So, not the greatest right now. And problem is that Day of Judgment doesn't really do anything. So it's 13 damage. But we can block Parnhelion, so it's less. This guy doesn't do anything, so let's play like this. I probably should attack. Well, maybe not. If enemy plays the combo, we want to block. I nearly forgot about my own plan. Right, Jace? Jace agrees. Against this deck you really want some kind of rest in peace. Like, to be honest, with such graveyard heavy meta, like, man, they have all of them, always. Like, how? How? Okay, they will get Parnhelion to hand. What you gonna do? At least this doesn't have haste. But yeah, this is brutal. Okay. So he wants to get the kill, but he won't. Now the question is it Shark Typhoon or Emperor? We sweep the board anyway. So probably Emperor is better. It also exiles and heals us. But we cannot play it before. It's like crazy that they have exactly the crew on the 3-drop that they need. I guess that was made in Parnhelion in mind? Who knows? Yeah, like, we need to give him the angels, unfortunately. Oh man, it has vigilance. And they also have vigilance. That's worse. I still want the Emperor. Oh man, that sucks so much. Okay. Change of plans. Like, I don't like being on, what, 3 HP? It's a bit too less for my taste. So, let's do it like this, and the fact that we draw a card is also very helpful. We just need to hope that they starve at some point, or we get better cards. We draw better cards a bit. Enemy knows about this. At least he's far from casting it, so next turn probably Faithful Absence and not much else. So what? 2 down. Sure. He just keeps going. Divine Perch isn't great on Hall, because then they can get something else. I still think we should get the land. Do we Perch? I think we go for the Emperor, and it might also look that we are going for Castle Ventress. I will highlight it, so enemy thinks that maybe we don't have any. Like, man, they have all of them. 25 cards from the top, and they have 3 of them. So I guess that's it. Like, if you don't hit 3 counter spells in your top 15 cards, you cannot win. Cool, cool. Kind of ridiculous. Of course it's a mistake, but it doesn't matter. Let's see, maybe they want Crow, because they need to tap. It won't change anything, just for the record.
This is what you get for hurting my people.
Yeah. Okay, Field of Ruin hurts a bit, but other than this, hand is really good. And we might draw something, so maybe we can still cast the Archmage Charm on curve. We'll see. Double Teferi, maybe not ideal, but who knows? We can leverage it in some ways, probably. Oh, that's a good draw then. In playing like this, because there's a chance we top deck a blue land, so if I play Field of Ruin now, I cannot play Archmage Charm. Exactly. Perfection. We also have Dovin Veto, I guess. Sorry. So basically, maybe Archmage Charm not really needed. Well, we are having like insane start, to be honest. We are top decking everything as we want. Wandering Emperor, very strong. Sure, we don't care. Like, of course, I care a bit. It's not great for us, but definitely not something you want to... Wow. What is this? What is this card? Copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, copy that spell twice. Okay. I feel a bit worse right now. I never seen this card, to be honest. Not used. Increasing Vengeance. Okay, so it will be a creature deck in some way. Sure. We probably kill it and then step. I hope enemy doesn't have a counter spell. But if he does, then, well, happens. At least not Jwari. I'm definitely not investing any of the cards to lower the cost. Good. Man, this is so scary. I think they would counter it if they have had something. It means we can play Teferi. I hope. If not, it's a total blow off. And this is one of the best reasons you have Dovin Veto in the deck. You can play Teferi on curve and still protect it, which is usually game winning. Like for 2 mana, I don't think he can kill it. It means our Teferi most likely will survive. And now enemy hopes that we don't have a counter spell for 2 mana, which we actually do have. Flashback 5. So he cannot he can have Faithless Looting for 1 mana, play land, and then reanimate something, but we have perfect answer to this. Oh man, doing nothing is definitely not the play. I could even -3 this, but cards are better. I think we don't do anything. Like honestly, we have Teferi on field. All we need to do is defend right now. As a real white deck. We could maybe Field of Ruin, but you know, he will take blue. It's pretty much the same as having red and blue in this case. So the only thing we really need to care for is having enough mana. And Field of Ruin is completely useless here. We probably counter it. He has creatures in the deck because of this. As an additional cost to cast the spell, sacrifice a creature. So I'm pretty sure he has some creatures. Does he have a counter spell? It's risky, but I will counter with this. Because I think Dovin Veto might be better in case he runs, like even, I don't know, Pact of Negation or whatever. Okay, cool. Okay, and he doesn't need to target. That's cool, I didn't know it. So he can pretty much cast everything he wants. Okay, no, the Knight, and that was it. Like Teferi. Ending every single game so quickly. Like, I've noticed that this deck really finishes the game way earlier than other controls. Like, it's not grindy control, it's like Teferi and you win in next 3 turns. Alright, this might be actually the best draw we had today. We have pretty much everything, a little bit of everything, and we are starting. Oh man. Okay, I can go with it. We start with the Glacial Fortress because we don't have basic lands. And enemy is really going ham. So at this point we prefer untapped land. This will be always tapped. This might get untapped if we hit a basic. And we really care about untapping lands. And this can be both blue and white, I guess. So, a lot of graveyard play, I guess. Okay, so it only works on the enemy graveyard. So his graveyard will be fine, and I think this deck will be using a lot of graveyard. I suck at card games. But you know what, I appreciate something else than like Phoenix decks and so on, so yeah. Still warm heart toward this guy. Well, maybe not for roping, but maybe he just has a lot of choices. Like, to be honest. Okay, interesting. What can he have? Huh. Interesting. I think we go with the Narset. Or maybe with Shark Typhoon. Only if you can get it back from graveyard only if you have one or fewer cards in hand. So for now it will just die. So definitely blue for now. I think we can get better value from Narset, and Shark Typhoon like trades perfectly. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. The only issue is that we don't have instant to punish it. Okay, perfect. All according to my plan. So, we trade, we draw. Wish I draw it last turn, but that's fine. Actually, maybe Shark is even better still. We play this, and what do we do with the big dinosaur? We could play Narset, draw card, and see if he wants to discard. I guess he will have some discard synergies, but I think we don't mind. Yeah, let's go for Narset. If he wants to kill her, he needs to waste all the damage.
Meditate and prepare.
And he sees what's coming next turn. Let's see, I'm not sure what exactly he has. I hope he doesn't have like huge synergy with the discard, and he doesn't have at all synergy with discard, so that's good. Okay. So he knows that we can exile everything 3 or less, but he doesn't know about this, and that's why he played like this, I think. After we kill this, he's pretty much done, I would say. Okay, and I think we play Jwari like this, because next turn we can play this and have Archmage Charm after Teferi, which is amazing. I don't expect the instant removal of Planewalker, and even if, that's fine.
We need to move quickly.
Yeah, so no instants, we untap both mana, we have counterspell. At this point we should have pretty much everything to win this game. Yep, and enemy knows about it. He knows about Divine Purge, so we just main phase Divine Purge, keep drawing cards, and enemy just falls behind very quickly.